Hey guys, hope y'all are doing well today. I hope the videos that I've been uploading for you guys have been encouraging to you all. As I said, wherever the Spirit of the Lord allows me to go, that's where I'm going to flow, guys. And it's really important to understand as believers that the Lord is going to deal with us not only on the spiritual levels, guys, which is the most important, but also in practical matters in everyday lives, in our everyday life. And the thing that I would tell you is to read the book of Proverbs, and you're going to see where the Lord talks a lot about wisdom and understanding and discretions and the things that it helps us to keep ourselves from. People that's evil, people that's mischievous, people that are quick to stir up strife and trouble and drama, people that want to pull you into doing evil things, and the results of doing evil, the results of getting in the bed of the wayward and the adulterer and the strange and crooked man. That's all in the book of Proverbs. And so, guys, as the Lord teaches us about walking in the Spirit, which is the most important thing, when you do that, you're going to see how those spiritual disciplines is going to help you with the things that can manifest, the ways that we can be in the natural and in the flesh. And so, what I like about Proverbs is that it really brings up a lot of everyday situations that we can be faced with and how we are to respond in those situations. And so I've just been led to talk about a few things, guys. And I just did a video that says they know how to do right, they just don't want to. They know how to be loyal, they know how to be faithful, but they don't want to. Because once upon a time in that relationship with that person, they were doing all the right things to get you to marry them. That woman was being understanding and sweet and kind and all of that because she wanted you to marry her. And once you married her, she took off that humble wig. Okay, and you realize there was something completely different underneath that. Yeah, and the same thing for that man who knew how to date you properly and court you and charm your family and charm your friends and charm you, and you married him, and then all of a sudden you realize this is not who you married. The mask comes off, and then suddenly you're fighting for what they used to bait you and to bring you into a relationship. And not to mention, if you decide that you don't want to follow God's principles and you add sex to the equation, oh, they're gonna put it on you. They're gonna put it on you. Okay, and get your mind where you can't think straight. And then all of a sudden, when you get married, that's just never gonna come up. It's gonna be dry, it's gonna be just boring, it's gonna be hurry up and finish, and they will always have a headache, or it's just something about you that he can't seem to want to lay with you anymore. So the bottom line is, people know how to do what's right when they want to do it, especially if they have demonstrated it. Even if they were faking it, it does demonstrate that even if they're not truly that person by nature, they know how to be that and do it. So if they really want to make things right, they will continue to they will be making an effort to listen to what your concerns are, to work alongside with you, and they will be seeking God to help them to change the things that they have struggles with. Because especially as believers in the Lord, we don't have an excuse. The things that you don't know, the things that you never got growing up, whether it's love, affection, or anything, God is able to teach you and show you how to love and how to be understanding and how to be considerate and how to show affection. He can give that to you. No one's going to be able to stand before God with any excuses, because in other words, my childhood issues and my strongholds were stronger and bigger than you, God. And so not even you can help me. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. It's a person choosing what they want to do and what behaviors they want to exercise and demonstrate. And so, as I said before, guys, don't be fooled by that type of stuff. That person know how to be loyal and faithful because they were at least at some point pretending to be. So they know how to even walk in a way that they're not truly this way, but they know how to take steps to do it. So if they want to change, even if it's something that they're not comfortable with, they would want to take those steps that may be uncomfortable, but the thing is in sincerity so they can be better. So as I spoke about in that last video, you may be trying to get, suddenly you're trying to get back the loyalty and the respect and the faithfulness and the protection that they demonstrated in the beginning of the relationship. But yet, with their newfound interest, they are able to do just that. All right? They're able to protect the conversations that they have with that person. They're able to protect and keep those interactions that they have with that person private. They will not share with you, their partner, their spouse, anything about that person, because there's a level of loyalty and fidelity that they have to that person. Whether it's long-term or it's temporary, what you do know is that when he is not sharing anything with you about her, about him, when she is not, that's because they automatically go into that mode of where they have a certain level of respect and loyalty to the relationship, where they will not share and bring and take anything outside of what they discuss. So there's the loyalty right there. There's the fidelity right there. There is the protection right there. Whatever he or she reveals to them, they won't reveal it to you, because they are now able to exercise the importance of protecting and covering the nakedness and the vulnerability of what has been said. So don't be fooled that they don't know how to do that with you. They know how to do that, but they're choosing to do that with this other person now. They know how to express, they know how to talk, because they're expressing and they're talking and they're sharing with somebody else, not you. All right. And sometimes you find that there are people, they're always attracted to whatever is new and what they don't know. So that is why sometimes when ladies, you were with somebody and then you end up breaking up and suddenly you become better friends, and he's contacting you and he's reaching out to you, and now he may have a girlfriend who's married to somebody, and you're on the, you're his friend, and he contacts you and he reaches out to you. You have to realize the reason why he's so drawn to you is because he doesn't have you, and he is attracted to what's not his. And so you are basically taking the place of what maybe the other women were doing in your life. You were his girlfriend, you were his wife, but there was somebody else that he had to talk to. She was his ear. She was his confidant. She was his advisor. He would be talking to her about your problems in the relationship. And now you find, ironically, the tables have turned, and he can maybe doing that to you. You may now be the man that's on the outside looking in, advising her. But I find that doesn't really happen too much with men as it does with women. That you become his best friends and you're better friends. I want you to understand, it's not that you're better friends. He no longer has to commit to you that way. So he gets along better with you because he does not need to give you that level of loyalty and love and faithfulness. That's not there anymore. And he's happier with that. He does not have to explain himself to you anymore. He does not have to be a better version of himself anymore. He's laid back. He's a better person because that commitment is no longer there. And so what a lot of women will do, they'll stay there being his BFF and all of that, not knowing that you have been shelved, but somehow you think you're getting a better part of this person, but you're not. It's just that he knows that you're no longer a priority for him. And he enjoys things that are just, they're out of reach, but yet within reach. That's the reality. I personally, I'm not going to be no BFF and best friends with my ex. I'm just not going to do that. For what? You don't need me you have had me in the best possible way ever. So it's not that there's hate, guys. You have to understand that. But I don't feel the need to pick up and remember it's your birthday, and you don't need to remember it's my birthday, and I don't have to be texting anything and going down memory lane, and I'm definitely not going to be asking anybody who failed in the relationship with me for advice on what to do in my relationship or present relationship. You're an ex for a reason, and so you have to keep that. And what my mindset is, you don't get to extract bits and pieces of what you like about me, but you didn't like the whole me. There's no way I'm going to do that. Those things I keep within myself. I give those to my friends and loved ones, those who are close to me. And you share those special gems and those treasures within you for the person that God will bring in your life eventually. There's no way I'm going to be given the deep things of myself to someone who had me as a partner, as a person that was with them, and they did not value me. They put you on the clearance rack. They did not want to be with you, or you had to break it off with them for whatever reasons. So no, why would we continue on? And then now I'm the BFF to your relationship. I can't tell him how to be with somebody else because I didn't even know how to be with him. I failed, right? In some ways. And then he failed in other ways. We were not a good match. There's no way you can be a good counselor to somebody else's mate. That's just stuff we just got to learn. You're not there and you don't know. So if you, as his ex, you or her ex, you guys failed, you are not a good candidate. You're automatically disqualified from being a candidate in their relationship, a candidate of to, meaning a poor, you cannot be a source of advice and counsel because you yourself failed it. It did not work. He did not listen to you. She did not take heed. She did not respond. He did not respond to what you had to offer. And eventually things broke up, or you were not a good partner in the relationship. You were not mature enough, whatever it was. You were not mature enough for the relationship. So therefore you cannot be my advisor. But this is very common today. And I find that really ironic. And so why is it that people will do these things? It's because they follow the norms of society that says, yeah, you can still be really close friends and we're better friends. No, you're not better friends. The pressure's off to commit and treat you right. So yes, you're going to get along with a person when there's no more of those expectations. Okay? So as I said before, they know how to be. They know how to be respectful to other people. They know how to be considerate to that next person, but they're not going to do that with you. They're just not. And so, guys, we have to wake up out of the sleep. You have to wake up out of the dream, the la la land, how you want things to be. Being a believer in the Lord does not mean that you just go through your life allowing the person to abuse you, allowing the person to do wrong by you, a person who's sleeping around. That is a very dangerous thing. Kissing other people, God knows what they're doing out there. If you have more than one or two situations with this person where they're cheating, you have to decide if you think it's worth it. It has nothing to do with this is my husband or this is my wife. Because even the Lord allows for you to end the relationship on account of adultery, fornication. And the reason why that is because there's so many things that happens. The person becomes one flesh. They become one with the other person. And that is why it's hard for them to function with you when they are really into another person and be right with you, because they become one. Instead of it being the both of you, there's now three there. Okay. He or she will begin to compare you to their partner, to the person that they're talking to. They'll notice everything wrong with you now because they're with this other person. Not only that, if they're discussing you with that other person, a lot of times, because that person does not know anything about your side, they're just going along with what that person is telling them. They are going to their beliefs and how their poor treatment of you is going to be reinforced, because now they are getting additional advice that is in agreement with what they already think about you. So they can both be discussing you and he comes home, she comes home, or when you guys are together, they can't act right because they have already been in covenant, in conversation, in body, in conversation, as I said, and discussed what you are and what you're not. And so that's one of the reasons why these individuals are not good counselors. This friend, this female, this person, this male, because they don't know. You can't give one-sided advice, but a lot of times they don't want to have advice because sometimes they want to be with you. Sometimes the person is they are sleeping together. They are rubbing each other's backs, scratching each other's backs, meeting each other's needs, finishing each other's sentences. And so you are the person that's on the outside. And so they'll have this counsel, and then they can end up sleeping with these individuals. And that's a very dangerous thing. Dangerous because you don't know the type of person they're dealing with that may decide, you know what, I just need to get rid of this person. They can decide you're the problem and want to get rid of you, want to get rid of your kids. They may think, well, if the child is not around, then they won't be together. There are people that will do crazy things. And not only that, there's people who they live all types of lifestyles and do all types of things. And sometimes your significant other, your spouse, is going out there and having sex with this person. And so that's why sometimes you wonder what's going on. When you are intimate with your spouse, you're wondering why under the blankets it smells like some dead rats. Why does this smell like this? What's going on? Why does it smell like deadly sins up in here? Okay? Gunpowder and mushrooms is all on the sheets. And everybody's playing dumb like they don't know what's going on. Okay? Sometimes what's happened, if that woman is out there and she's having sexual intercourse with another man and that man is ejaculating in her, meaning he's releasing it inside of her, they have got to a place they're not using protection, his semen is going to be in her. Sometimes it's not even that. It's just his fluids and his sweat is inside of her. And it sits there and it's marinating and it's baking. It's baking. And sperm can stay inside your body, I believe, for up to 24 or 48 hours. So 2 days, all that stuff is in there. Then they die off, but then they're still sitting inside of her. And so depending on what that man, whoever she's sleeping with, he's been with a couple other people. He's been to some fish fries. He's doing a few things. He's stirring the pot. He's making bacon. He's milking the cows, whatever he's doing out there. Okay. He is pole vaulting all through the town. He's going to have all those things still inside of him, even if he wash off. So when he's ejaculating in her, he's giving her a burst of sauce. And then she sits there, she has her own pH balance mixed with other pH balances. And now you're trying to be intimate with her. And all of a sudden it's smelling like rodents in the house. But you're so happy to finally get a little bit of something, you go along with it. Or she's blaming you for it. And that is dangerous health-wise and spiritually. It is dead. It is so deadly. And that is why the Lord allows for that. You have the same thing can happen. Your husband's out there doing all kinds of stuff. Same scenarios, messing with different women, doing things, people putting their mouths on here and there and over there. And you can use a condom all you want. But if that person has any sort of communicable diseases, that means it's not about fluids, but about just contact, bodily contact. People can have herpes. People can have cold sores underneath their tongue and they kissing you, or some people don't like to kiss, but they'll allow them to go down and do things on their organs, performing fellatio and condolingus on them. And that can still transfer diseases. You rubbed up on a cold sore. You didn't know that the person had genital warts. You can't tell those things then when it's way up inside, inside the penile lining of that man. And so they are doing all these different things. And whether that man is circumcised or uncircumcised, don't matter. If he's uncircumcised and you pull that stuff back, all kinds of lumps and bumps and sores and little trails is there. And if he's circumcised, it's all down in there still. And here you are, you as a woman, you're a wife, you're sleeping with this man, you're doing all these different things with him. And so now, or I'm sorry, the husband is doing all these things with these women that he get with you, and something is just not familiar. Okay? There's a cloud of smoke all under the covers when you're trying to lay with your husband. Why? He can't act right. He's trying to do something completely different with you, and he's trying to blame you. That's because he's been doing all kinds of different things with this person. Sometimes the woman that he is with, she is promiscuous. She could be doing certain things. She can also have poor hygiene. She just wash up real quick when he's coming. She can make the house look real clean when he's coming. But you don't see that she has about 3 or 4 cardboard towels dried up from who she's been with prior. So he goes to her and he's with her. Perhaps her hygiene, feminine hygiene, is poor. Her pH balances are different. She may have higher concentration of land and sea all up inside of her. And you may be a woman, you take care of yourself. Well, when he comes to you and he's trying to lay with you, and now he becomes one with you, your body is screaming like intruder alert. So now you're wondering why all of a sudden you smell like Seabiscuit. You're wondering why all of a sudden you're baking mini cheese biscuits. Okay, ding! You got a little muffin down there. What's going on? Well, he's not going to take ownership of that. But that's because of the different levels of pH balance with her. Not to mention if she's sleeping around with other people. Again, your husband may be using condoms with her, but that's not going to prevent him from the communicable diseases, the diseases that you can get from rubbing on something, from kissing a person, or from allowing them to do certain things below the belt with their mouths that has some sort of an infection that he will not see. You see? So this is why it's important, guys, to realize that you can't expect your husband, your partner, to be looking out for you if you're not looking out for yourself. Why would they care more for you if you don't care enough for yourself? If you want to make yourself become the crash test dummy, okay, and you will put yourself in harm's way, how many times is he going to give you a sexually transmitted disease? How many times is she going to give you a sexually transmitted disease? How many times are you going to catch them with another person before you get it? How many more lies are you going to have to catch them in before you get it? How many more altercations are you going to have with people and arguments over her? When she will tell you one thing and tell that man something else. He will tell you one thing and then he's telling her something else. That is a lying spirit. And a lot of times that person, they have issues, they have problems. You know, in the book of Proverbs, it talks about stolen melons. Stolen melon tastes the best. Water, bread eaten in secret is good. But you don't realize as it's sweet in the beginning, it becomes gravel inside your mouth. Some men are drawn to the strange woman. Anybody that's not their wife, anybody else that's not their partner, they're drawn to it. They think that they can make it different. Well, we're just talking. We're just conversating. Talking is greater than sex because you're getting to know that person and you're becoming one in spirit. The sex is just going to heighten what's already been solidified, and the most important groundwork, which is communication. Emotional affairs are worse than physical affairs because sometimes you could just go in there, people get together, they sleep together, and that's it. But when you're emotionally tied to somebody, it's the worst. So there's people who will justify it. Oh, we're just talking. We didn't do anything. We only kissed. We only did heavy petting. We did not, I don't kiss this person. Some men will feel that they're not cheating because they don't kiss the lady. You don't kiss her, but you go inside her body. You don't kiss him, but you allow him to insert himself inside of you and touch you. So there are people out there, guys, are so mixed up in all types of things. But then here's the bottom line. It all boils down to you. If you don't take care of you, if you don't stand up for you, if you don't set standards for yourself, if you are not treating yourself right, meaning you don't have enough within yourself to say this is not acceptable. And even if at this moment you can't leave for whatever reason, you can do long-term or short-term goal to say, okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to set this in place. If you're not doing that, and if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you expect for that person to do better than you? To do better than yourself? How are they going to treat you better than you treat yourself? Because the way he does the things that he's doing is because you allow it. It's the way she's doing what she's doing is because you allow it. And you're allowing yourself to think because you're a Christian and you're a woman, a man of God, this means that you're supposed to take it. Not so. Read Proverbs. Jesus was no dummy. Understand that. And he was not a pushover. And a lot of things that they will lie to you about, the Lord will show you the truth. He will show it to you. You're going to see it in a text. You're going to see it in an email. You're going to see somebody that will reach out to you. There's so many ways that you are told the truth. Your body will tell you when you go to the doctor and now you have a sexually transmitted disease and you know you haven't gone anywhere. How many more sexually transmitted diseases do you need to get? Right now, you can take a pill. In the past, you've been able to take some medication and it goes away. But are you going to wait until you get something that's a lifetime disease? Because there's some people that can tell you they kept on fooling around with someone or only one time they've been with a person and that person gave them HIV. Because there's a lot of people out there that's doing all types of stuff. There's people who get HPV. That's the other thing you can get. Human papilloma virus. There's a lot of lomas and viruses and things out there, guys. And so you have to think, sometimes you may say, well, this person's not cheating, but sometimes they're habitual liars. If a person is a liar, you never know what they're going to do. You never know what they're going to do next. And it is not your job to try to love all love all that stuff off of them. You know, God puts you in someone's life, you know, but sometimes, guys, they have to want to receive it. And the reason why people cannot act right is because they first reject God. They want to allow their childhood traumas and things that happen and who didn't love them. That becomes their headliner. That becomes their song and dance. That becomes their get out of jail free card. And especially if you say that you're a child of God, you know good and well that God is able to transform, change, and show you why these things happen and change your behavior. But some people, they don't want that. They want to be victims. They're going to always talk about stuff that happened when they were young. Not that it's not valid, but what it is, it's become something that it becomes their crutch and their get out of jail free card. And perhaps you may be in their life, but if they don't want to receive the love and they just want to get it, but don't want to give it back, and they want to abuse you and keep doing wrong, there comes a time that you have to separate from that person. Because you have to understand, when they're cheating and when they're lying and when they're playing head games, they first offend God. They have to first choose to ignore God's voice within them, in their conscience and the Spirit of God speaking to them. They ignore God to do what they want to do. So if they will ignore the Creator, they're going to do worse to you. Stop making excuses for these people. And I would say you have to get to a place where you can't even blame this person anymore. You have to look in the mirror, because they've shown you themselves. They've shown you themselves, and you continue to be there. They've shown you themselves, and you continue to let a bunch of people tell you what you should do in your relationship. They're not there. They're not the ones that's getting the blows. They're not the ones that's being cheated and lied on, but they can be on the outside trying to tell you what you need to do in your marriage and in your relationship. They have a great husband at home, but they encourage you to stay with your terrible husband. I understand that sometimes God will allow perhaps a person to stay in with a person that they may have some things going on, but they are not abusing you in doing all these things, and God makes a change within them. But most times, guys, people end up being with a person they were never supposed to be with in the first place, because the Lord opened your eyes and showed you some things about that person before you married them. but then you chose to, or you ignore some things and you continue to date them. And what happens is when the person sees that they can get away with stuff with you, they're going to keep doing it. They'll keep doing it. They'll see that they can do more and more and more and more and more. And they continue. That is the nature of sin. It just goes an inch and a mile and a couple miles. It's going to do that. All right. And you will be destroyed. Now you're not going to recognize yourself, because now you become argumentative. You'll become bitter. You may decide you're going to do it back to them. You're going to start to fight back too. And there's just a lot of terror and horror and things going on and mayhem. And you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't know who you are anymore. And truth be told, sometimes they like that because now they feel justified. That one will provoke you and do all kinds of things. You've always been a calm, level-headed man, but the minute you snap off, oh, she runs with that. That man may have been doing things for a long time. You've been level-headed, kind, considerate, patient. And the minute you snap off, that becomes a huge deal. They need that. They have to hold on to that. And now they may justify that. This is why I can't be with you. This is why I can't do right by you. No, you was already Mr. Not Do Right from the beginning. She was already Miss Not Do Right. She was already a crooked thing. Okay? But now they come in your life and they begin to change your nature. So that's the thing you have to realize. Your nature will begin to change. You'll get tired. You'll get worn out. You'll become bitter. You look in the mirror and you're not looking how you used to look anymore. You've lost your glow. You've lost your spark. You've lost your self-esteem. You lost your self-worth. You lose your faith in God. You don't want to pray because you're always crying. You can't read your Bible because something else is always happening, because you live with the bull in the china shop. Your trust, your respect, faithfulness, kindness, he or she has broken up all of that. And you continue to have them in your life. Guys, people know how to do right. That spouse, that person that you're with, they know what right is. They're doing it with the person they're interested in right now. They're just not going to do it with you. But the question is, what are you going to do? You're going to continue being his BFF? After he broke off with you and he left you, after she left you, now you're better friends? No, that person realizes you have some great qualities in you and they still want to have that, so they can have who they left you for or who they're interested in and still get your great advice and your sound advice and your sweet voices and words. They want to basically, what it is, you're now in what you call, what are those shops, guys, where people go where they need to, like one of those little, what do you call those places? They have bits and pieces, like people go there to get what they need for their car. But you know what it is. They just took little scraps of you. And that's what you're a salvage yard now. Oh, she's a good listener. Let me go listen to her. But he's staying with his wife, or she's staying with her husband, whoever. All right. That don't listen. That's over the top. That's selfish, but you're a kind person. So they can come and get their fix from you, but they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to leave you. So here you are becoming the salvaged ex on the side. You have to take care of you. And sometimes you don't know how to do that because maybe you grew up in a family that was abusive, that did not treat you well, but that does not have to be your reality. You went through those things because you were at home and you were vulnerable and you were exposed to that. Now that you're independent on your own, don't continue to expose yourself to these type of things. And a lot of times you have to ask God and pray and ask the Lord to help you, to heal your heart and to show you how to view yourself differently. And that takes time, but it's very possible. And so you'll be able to see why you do the things that you do, why you take the things that you do. Some men, they stay with abusive women and they're with women who mistreat them because they had mothers like that talked down to them, and still would do something nice for them later on. So they contribute love to coarse joking. You have parents who will say terrible jokes to their child and then say, you know, I love you. So then they take that type of thing as being normal in outside relationships. They may have watched their mother be cheated on, watched their father be beaten up on by women, being abusive, volatile, yelling relationships, and they think that's normal. And they draw to that type of man. They'll draw to that type of woman. Or even when they meet someone who's gentle and kind, they have carried those seeds They're bored if the conversations, if there's no fighting. They're bored if no one's grabbing them. They're bored if somebody's not throwing a drink in their face. There are women who are used to being beaten up. There are women who are used to guys cheating on them. There are women that's used to having drinks thrown in their face and being slapped around. So when they meet that man who is gentle and kind, they're bored and they become the wild hyena in the relationship. They will be talking down to that man and being a brute beast to him. Why? Because the seeds that's been planted in them from childhood and from the type of man that they're used to. So now you find that gentle man becoming loud and cursing and carrying on, and she's draws to that. Oh, she loves that. She can argue back. No. Men, you got to let that woman run the plains. She is a hyena in nature. She needs to run the plains. She needs to go fight with other wild animals of the plains. And I'm not being funny, but it is what it is. Something is going on within her spirit. And so she has a wild nature. That's why the Bible talks about wolves, dogs, flies, serpents, whores. All of that is in the Bible. But if you say it outside the Bible, people are offended. It's amazing how people get offended when you speak the truth, but they have no problems doing abominable things before and in the eyes of the Almighty God. But, you said a whoremonger. Cut it out. Cut it out. You will find there are men out there, they're used to being with wild women. Disrespectful, loud, ray type of women. They love that. So when you aren't respectful and considerate, they don't know how to handle that. They're used to being betrayed. They're used to being cheated on, or they're used to having, just dog fights, just stuff. They're used to that. And what happens is they will come and will damage you emotionally, mess you up. Used to be quiet, now you cussing him out. You used to be have a calm demeanor, now you're drinking and you may be smoking. You do all of that to just cover that pain. And now he's attracted to you. He loved that. Now you're arguing and you're cussing him out. He want to snatch you up and throw you over his shoulder and take you in the bedroom, and everybody's fighting and scrapping in the bed and whatever, and ending it with, you better act right. You better do better. And he's like, whatever. Who wants that? And sometimes it doesn't get to all of that. But you have lost your peace with this person. Especially when you're dealing with a man that is really slick. He can make you lose your mind. So it boils down to you. Are you going to take care of yourself? Are you going to allow the Lord to show you and heal you, lead you out of this place of darkness? Because if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't respect yourself enough, if you don't love yourself enough, how can you expect them to treat you any better? If you are a person where you want the crumbs from off the table, if at one point he or she sat you at the table and now they've demoted you to eating underneath the table, somebody else is sitting there, you're sitting there waiting and hoping that they'll remember you. If you're doing that to yourself, do you think that they'll do any better for you? Do you think they're going to treat you better than you treat yourself? But God will show you. Sometimes I talk about this. You're used to broken toys. And I can see a child sitting in a dumpster. Imagine that, sitting in a dumpster, just playing with things that's broken and dirty and moldy. And here's the Lord saying, I've got new things for you. I want to show you something that's clean, that's better. Come with me. And you reject it because I'm used to this. You may be afraid of the new things because you don't feel good enough. You have been told, and the way you've been treated has programmed and conditioned you to feel that this is as good as it's going to get. It's better to stay with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. But it's not always a devil that's waiting on you. It's better things. And the first thing is, it begins with you in your heart. And allowing that cleansing and that healing in the process of that outpouring to happen. so that you can receive good things. You can receive better things. You can receive better relationships. You know, there's a man somewhere, he may not have been his best, but God has transformed him and changed him and brought him into a better place. And if you're still broken and jacked up, you go in there and take him out of that place of peace. There's a woman who God has transformed and made her into a better man. A better woman. And so if you're a man, you have luggage and things going on, and you got BFFs and all the people that you taking with you, the forever ride or die best friends and women and all these things you have going on in your life, you will enter that woman's life and you will take her out of that place of peace. You will not be able to receive that. So until you get to a place of realization, you're always going to find yourself being in these type of relationships, putting up with these type of things, not facing the facts, wanting to be fooled, wanting to believe what you want to believe, putting your own narrative on the reality of the behavior of this person. That man or woman knows how to be loyal because they're loyal to this new person. They know how to protect a relationship. They know how to cover your nakedness. They know what, in other words, when it says cover your nakedness, not putting out your business to other people, protecting your vulnerabilities, because they're doing it with the person that they're talking to. You don't know they're talking to them. You don't know they're spending time with them because they're protecting their relationship. They have a covenant. Their fidelity is to that person. Their loyalty, their protection is there. So it's not that they don't know. They're just not giving that to you. Your body is the temple of the living God. If someone is out there running the street, don't let that old possum come running up in your bed and giving you all types of things, giving you all kinds of diseases, putting you at risk, putting your health at risk, shortening your lives. And there's always some sort of itching, burning situation, neutral feeling, meaning it's not good, it's not bad, seasonings, rice, milk, honey, biscuit, yams, potato salad, all going on down there. Mushrooms and gunpowders is always on your pap smear. This is not what God desires for you. All right? I know that I said some things that might have made you laugh, made you think. But the thing is, guys, stop wasting your time and wasting your life with people that want to be how they want to be. You are not their first kill. I have a video that's called that. You are not their first kill. They've been doing this a long time, making you think that, oh, it's you. Remember that person that they may have come and told you about, oh, what this person did, what their ex did, and oh my goodness, and you felt sorry for them. Understand this, that now you are somebody's story. They're telling somebody about you, about what you did, and oh my goodness, you're such a terrible person. And you know, it's not important for you to prove that. You don't have to prove to that person that they're lying, because eventually, unless that person changes themselves, they will see who the person truly is. When the person leaves you and they move on, consider yourself to have dodged a bullet. But some of you, you're staying there and you're staying there and you're staying there, and you're being more and more depleted and diminished. And if you have children, they're witnessing these things, being frightened and afraid. And at the very least, and the worst thing is that they are being taught what a relationship should be. And so they'll go out of the house when they grow up looking for that same type of relationship, or being an abuser, or being a victim in the relationships that they endeavor to start in the future. Your choices goes beyond you guys. So just think about what's been said today. Do pray to God, because only He can help you. Only He can pull you out of the stuff and change your mind and change your mentality and put you in a better place. He gives you beauty for ashes. He's going to take off that garment of heaviness and give you a garment of praise. He'll put a royal diadem on your head and a ring on your finger. He will kiss your cheek and He will embrace you. He's not done with you. And it is not too late for you to change and get better in your life, no matter how long you've lived. If you've been in this relationship for a long time, you're still alive, because God is saying you can still change everything. It's not too late. All right, guys. Peace.